2nd, 2012 on this Monday morning. Homeland Security is going after yet another group that they deem as domestic terrorists, anti-abortion activists. Now, there was a video out recently where they had a group of protesters, young women, older women, a mix. I forgot where it was. I'll have to dig that up from Infowars.com. But Paul Joseph Watson wrote an article this morning about it. Homeland Security anti-abortion activists now labeled domestic terrorists. It's part of the long trail of abuses and usurpations by this Homeland Security. Going all the way back to the MIACC report put out 3 years ago, labeling gun owners, libertarians, conservatives, constitutionalists, domestic terrorists. Anyone with a "Don't Tread on Me" flag, or against the UN flag, or again at the UN, or anything like that, or people who question a new world order, or this secret global government, or people questioning the NAFTA superhighway, even though they showed a picture of it in that same brochure from their own website, the NAFTA website. All just going around to questioning known liars. But they usually say conspiracy theorists, but the way I would see it is that it's people that question known liars. Because you don't trust known liars. No matter if it's your family members, your friends, or anybody else. But with this anti-abortion thing, they're going after it because they have to keep that industry going, so to speak. Because it's been going on for hundreds of years. 50 million babies dead in the past few decades or so. Mostly targeting black children, black families, under the whole agenda of Planned Parenthood, before it was Planned Parenthood, called the Birth Control League. And it's all in this excellent documentary called MAAFA 21. I'll put the link up on the bottom of this page, where it basically explains the history of eugenics with Francis Galton and Darwin's cousin, and how it kind of got into that whole idea of eugenics and breeding the perfect race. That's where it comes from. Hitler did a variance of that, but it wasn't based on everybody. It was just based on a particular race or religion. But it goes into detail, and all the way up until today, where you have black members of the black community like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. They don't talk about this because they make a secret deal behind the scenes. They talk about the Trayvon Martin case like it's such a tragedy. Meanwhile, black babies are being aborted, all thousands and thousands dead every year from abortion. And they don't talk about that because they're being paid off by Planned Parenthood, who the founder, Margaret Sanger, actually called for weeding out the blacks in society. You can look that quote up. It was from that MAAFA 21 documentary. And to see, it's just disgusting piece of filth Margaret Sanger really was. And then they portray her as this hero of the women's movement, women's freedom or reproductive freedom movement. I'm not all for people choosing to have that, because they can have that if they want to. It's their own bodies. They can make that choice. But it all comes down to either right or wrong. Whether life begins at conception or any religious debate like that is a different topic for another day. But this goes on the idea of basically aborting human beings, fetuses, what they call fetuses. And they try, there was an article I just mentioned this, there was an article a few weeks ago, I think last week, about a picture on China's Twitter account. I forgot the name of it, it's a different name. But they showed a baby that was killed in a bucket of water, being drowned. And people say, oh, that's so tragic. And people say, well, that's just a piece of tissue. That's not a human being. That's not a fetus. That's a piece of that's bags of tissue. Or what they call body tissue. And the way China is really the end game for the globalists, with this one-child policy that we helped put in place under George H.W. Bush as the United Nations ambassador to China in the 1980s. That was in the film Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. Go watch that documentary, fantastic. But it all comes to a correlation where the real agenda is behind here. Going after depopulating. It's not just blacks now, it's everybody. We're all under this attack by the globalists. It's not just blacks or whites or Hispanics, it's everybody. We have to understand that to look past all these racial divisions that is going on in the Trayvon Martin case and what's going on in future cases. Well, they're trying to make it a white and black thing, and it's not working out. It's failing miserably, and people are recognizing that. But I'll post all the articles for this abortion issue and all of that up at the bottom of this page for you to check out yourself. And I'll have more coming up in the next few weeks or so. Otherwise, I appreciate all my subscribers out there and to both of my channels. I'll put the links up at the bottom of this channel. And more videos to come.